Hi, everyone, and welcome to Repurpose Live, where we help you to rethink your priorities of growth, wellness, and purpose. My name is Lissa Figgins, and it's my mission to help busy women to have the health, the time, and the resources to be able to create a life and a body that you love. And each and every week, it's my intention to introduce you to an amazing woman who can also help you with those priorities. So today I have with me Juliana Nikolova. She is a functional medicine and health coach, and I love the fact that she is passionate about educating and empowering women to eat, sleep, think in healthier ways because it has an effect, right? It helps us to create energy, it helps us to create a sense of calm, joy, and most of all, resilience. So thank you, Juliana, for being on and joining us today. Tell us a little bit more about you and what inspired you to do what you're doing now.
Okay, Lisa, thank you so much. And thanks for the invitation. I really appreciate it. And I'm super excited to be here with you today. Like so many of us who are in the health and wellness industry, we got into the place through our own personal journey. And that's exactly what happened with me. And I haven't always been in this space. I worked in a corporation for about 20 years. And I witnessed how so many of my colleagues and people around me experienced the stress-related conditions as a result of the life that they were living. And unfortunately, I had the chance and the opportunity to experience firsthand this myself. And you know how the impact of a busy, stressful life starts to impact yourself, and you are sleep deprived, multitasking, and really you are energy starved, and what I call it a life on autopilot.
Right.
And one day I realized I woke up and I said, is this the way that you would like your life to continue? And because, you know, it all starts to add up and piles up and symptoms starts to surface and it's not a good place to be. And that's how I decided I have to take a step back. And it's really, especially for women, it's so important because, you know, when you are mother and wife and have family and kids, you easily ignore your own personal needs and start to put yourself on the back burner. And
Yes.
that's how it all starts to happen. And then I realized I need to do something different. And that's how I found functional medicine and coaching. And I'm super excited about that. So in my work, I help busy professional women who struggle with stress and overwhelm, and I help them to calm their busy minds and really to meet their personal unique needs so that they can have boundless energy and build that resilience, that health resilience that we talk about. And you know how important is this now, this topic of resilience, especially nowadays,
Oh, for
considering what's
sure.
happening all over the world. And when we talk about resilience and resilient health, what is resilience? It is really our ability to thrive in challenging times, to be able to adapt to challenging situations and to overcome setbacks and thrive despite them. And this is something that is really doesn't happen overnight, and it is a process. And this is a process that I walk my clients through. And when I work with my clients, I usually take them on a journey. And it always starts with self awareness and building that wellness vision, getting them from where they are to where they want to be. And it's really, we are looking into all areas of their life that are foundational for health. And these are sleep, movement, exercise, food, relationships, mindset, setting boundaries, all that matters. And we look into them and we see what do they need to minimize? Like
Right.
what do they need to get rid of? Like what is no longer needed and is no
Mm-hmm.
longer serving them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What we need to maximize to put more into their life so that they can thrive and achieve what they want, and how we prioritize that healing environment for them. So that's how we usually go through this process together. And it is not an easy process for people. You know, it always requires habit change, it requires lifestyle change, and people need that support. And it's really important to be able to support them the right way.
Right, right. I think people oftentimes want a quick fix, right? They just want things to
Yeah.
change. They want things to be different. And you're right. It took us time to get to where we are. And then it's going to take us time, but that intention to move us beyond. And I love how you defined resilience. I think that was a beautiful definition that can relate to almost anything that happens in life, right?
Yeah.
Of just being able to
That's
adapt, whether it's something with our kids or in our marriage or with our career or with our business or with the world, right? Like being able to adapt and still be well and healthy in mind and body going through those things is really a key to being able to live a life that we want. And I love the fact
absolutely.
that you recognized that where you were was not where you wanted to be, right? And
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
weren't happy with what and you also looked around and saw people around you. That's part of my story. I remember looking around and saying, gosh, there are other women out there just like
Yeah.
me who
Exactly.
also, right, want to feel
Yeah.
better, want to have more
Indeed.
choices.
Yeah. And it's really like and I said to myself after I have been through this and started studying more and more and diving deep into science and knowledge, and I realized that I would be doing a huge disservice to people and to
Mm,
other people in this situation if I'm not sharing my knowledge, my
mm,
experience, and my
mhm,
expertise with them.
mhm.
And that's how I started creating a community around that and working with people who needed that, exactly that. And
That's
yeah,
I love
that's
that.
how it
So,
is.
so right now we need resilience, right? We need some of these healthy
Abs-
habits and these healthy routines and things in our day. So, what are maybe a couple of practical tips that you can offer for someone who's listening and just saying, I know that I'm not where I need to be, but I'm so busy doing everything. I just don't even know where to start. What would be maybe 2 or 3 places that you would recommend for people to take a
Yeah,
look at?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to share that. Like habit change is really hard for most of us.
Mm,
Like when we get used to something, it's really hard to change the habits. And people, like researchers say that it usually takes about on average, 83 days to create a new habit.
mm,
What I would say is that the 3 simple steps that every one of us can do is really when you start creating a new habit, start small and start very simple. It
mm,
has to be something doable and achievable. Because I will give you a short example. If you have never exercised, for example, and you set a goal to go to the gym 3 times per day and do heavy lifting, the chances of you succeeding are not that big. So start small with something that resonates with you and do it on a regular basis. This is number one. And the other one is like when you want to introduce a new habit into your life, it is a good idea to stick it to an existing one. Like, for
mm.
example, because we usually easily forget about how to do that. While I'm brushing my teeth, I will do squats. This is just an example.
Sure.
Or while I'm waiting for my tea to be prepared, I will do some push-ups or whatever resonates with you. And the third one is to be really compassionate with yourself and
Mm.
really give yourself the gift of compassion, because when it's hard, it changes hard, and it's like going few steps forward and sometimes few steps backwards. So this is normal. When we realize that and really embrace that, it really makes all changes really much more easier and even fun, and
Yes, yes. Isn't that true? We're often hardest on ourselves than we are on other people, and don't
yeah,
give ourselves that same grace that we would.
judge ourselves. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
absolutely, that's true.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I love those tips. And I love the starting small. I love your idea of attaching them to something. I heard someone on a podcast call them health snacks. He said it's not necessarily that
Oh,
you're eating something, but it's just, how like a snack would just be that little bit in between your bigger meals, right? So doing those few push-ups on the wall while you're waiting for your tea, or doing the deep knee bends, or, just doing
yeah,
something to get
yeah.
moving.
Absolutely. Or gratitude journaling, whatever
Hmm.
resonates with you.
Hmm.
Just stick it to something so that it's easy and not to have to be reminded by notes or something else, because we
Right,
easily
right,
tend to forget. And
right.
and follow, yeah,
When I work with people who are trying to incorporate skincare, particularly like washing their face and doing a good skincare routine at night, and they tell me it's just so hard for me to do it. I tell them stick it next to your toothbrush, right? Because that is a habit
yes,
that most likely most people listening today have already created, and you're probably not going to veer from that very often. So I like the whole idea of attaching something to that. So this is such a great conversation, Juliana. There are so
Thank you
many
so
things
much. Yeah.
that we can learn and start implementing. So I'm just thinking right now, a listener is probably saying, okay, I need to be more resilient. I'm curious about, where I can start. How can I learn a little bit more about working with you? I know you have something that you want to offer, and
Yeah.
then some great resources. So tell us a little bit about that, so our listener can find
Yeah.
out where
Yeah.
you are at.
I will share the resources after our conversation. I have a community of busy professional women where I help them to overcome stress and through real food and building that healthy habits so that they can build that resilience that we talked about. And it is a step-by-step process. So anyone who is interested and feels it's the right fit, please come join us. And the other thing is that I am gifting today my free resilience building toolkit, where I offer a series of very short but effective exercises that you can do on a regular basis, basically anytime, anywhere. And if you do them, you will get to that place. So the only condition is that you need to practice that.
Right.
Otherwise,
Yes.
it
It's,
won't work.
you can have the resources. It's a matter of actually doing them. But when you
Yeah,
have them in a
it's true.
simple format like that, it makes it easy. And I think when people see the results, then that builds that momentum, right? And that
Exactly.
reason
They get
behind it.
motivated.
Mhm.
And that has a direct relation to what I was telling you when we don't start complicated goals. Just start with something small to see that you can do that, to have that confidence in yourself, because this helps a lot with motivation. And
Right.
that's really, really important.
Right. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your generous offer. I will have you put the links to those in the comments of this video after we're finished. So make sure that if you're listening, you go in there and grab them. I also am offering a free resource called a Healthy Day Guide, 3
Yep.
keys to a healthy day, right? And what that can look like in the morning, during your day, and then in the evening, just to create some of those healthy habits. So I will stick the link to that down there as
Awesome.
well. And I highly
Awesome.
encourage you, if you're listening, to reach out, find that accountability, find that coach that is going to be able to help you to maybe see the things you're not seeing, push you a little bit when you don't feel like it, and to cheer you on and help you really stick with those healthy lifestyle habits that you want, so that you can be resilient and look and feel your best, so that you can give your best. So thank you, Juliana, so much for being on with us
Thank you,
today.
Lisa. I really appreciate. I love your work and what you're doing, and thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. There's such, so many people, need to know how they can be living well. So it's a message we'll just keep sharing. And thank you,
Yeah.
everyone, for joining us. My challenge to you is this: keep rethinking your priorities so that you can create a life that you love. We'll see you next time, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.